So I've been coming across this idea online of a soft life. So that's a life that is simplified, comfortable, and intentionally free of stress and responsibility. So is this the same as what we're going for in creating a Buddhist life? So this idea of a soft life seems to me like a very natural reaction to a world, particularly a working world, that is just spun a bit out of control. Alongside this, more and more technology has been coming into being that's designed to make things quicker and easier. But rather than that giving us time to relax, what it seems to have done is just created the expectation that we can do even more. So we can find ourselves, particularly in our working life, feeling like we're going on a treadmill that's going faster and faster and faster. And there can be a real sense of strain, stress that can build up through that. The other thing about a treadmill is that it's clearly not going anywhere. And one of the most dissatisfying things about our efforts in work can be when we don't feel like what we're putting our effort towards is really meaningful. We're making money for shareholders who we never see, making products that we don't quite believe in, etc. And there's nothing more stultifying to our life energy than feeling like we're putting all of our energy into something we just don't believe in. So no wonder that so many people are wanting to sign out and just quit their jobs or engage in quiet quitting, this phenomenon whereby people keep taking a salary but do as little work as you can get away with. So this question of how do we engage with work when we're trying to practice Buddhism has always been a very important one in the Buddhist tradition. What we spend most of our waking hours on will really affect our mind. When Sangharakshita, the founder of the Triratna Buddhist community, returned from India to the United Kingdom to start a new Buddhist movement, it was very clear to him that this question of how we practice Buddhism whilst engaging in the world of work was a really, really important one. If our work is putting us into stressed or unhappy states, it's going to be very difficult to cultivate the kind of creative new life that Buddhism is asking of us, and very difficult to impact the world around us in a positive way. So his first piece of advice was to spend as little time as possible on earning a living. So this sounds a little bit like the idea of a soft life, doesn't it? It's a life in which, because we're not spending so much time earning a living, we're probably going to have to live much more simply. We'll have less money to spend, so we'll need to be more specific about what are the things that we really need. And with that time that is left over, he was encouraging people to use it creatively to meditate, to learn about Buddhism, and to cultivate friendship. So that's one way of engaging with the world of work, but it's not the last word. And there's a danger in this approach. So when we spend time cultivating relaxation, learning to become less stressed, much as that might be the first thing that we need when we encounter these teachings, there's a danger in it. And that danger is that we become lazy. The danger is that our energy, our enthusiasm gets dampened by not being challenged, not being tested, by not giving us a reason to grow. So that's one of the things that work can provide for us. And in aspects of the Buddhist tradition, work has been very, very strongly emphasized, particularly in the Zen tradition, where there's this saying that a day without work is a day without food. Work is as essential to our well-being as eating. When we take responsibility for something, we sometimes have to do things that go against our personal preferences. And in doing so, we start to work against the natural tendency towards selfishness. Also, we're challenged to grow into qualities that we might not have otherwise discovered in ourselves and learn more about our limitations. The challenge of a project, particularly, in fact only, a project that we really believe in, that we really see as adding value to the world around us, that challenge can just be deeply satisfying to start something and finish it, particularly when we're doing it with other people, a sense of teamwork, a sense of achievement. So this leaves us with a couple of options for a working life as a Buddhist. One is that we spend as little time as we can on earning money. But we'll need to be careful that the way that we earn our money is something that we can at least get a little bit behind. It's not something that we feel is actively harming anyone or that we really hate. And something that we can, make a genuine effort, be genuinely conscientious and honest in our approach, but keep some boundaries around it. And then make sure that with the time that we create, we use our energy in much more creative ways to volunteer, whether that's through helping out at a Buddhist centre or through supporting charity work or whatever it is, perhaps some creative pursuit. The other option is something more like vocation, where what we're doing to earn a living is something that we really love and can get behind. One of the things that Sangharakshita later on created as part of this movement was working contexts whereby Buddhist teams could work together, so that they didn't just need to make work as small as possible a part of their life. Work could instead be a creative context for friendship and all the sort of positive challenge that can come from work. Ultimately, whenever we are working on our mind to be freer and happier and so forth, the natural outcome of that is to want to help others. And if we're not wanting to do that, we're getting something a bit wrong. So it's very natural that we should want to find an outlet for our energy that is altruistic and engaged with other people. So do we want a soft life? Well, speaking personally, no, I don't. I think there's something about the idea that's deeply uninspiring, that lacks any sense of challenge and aspiration and growth. But we do need to move away from our activity being fundamentally compulsive. So can we look at our lives, look at the things that we're doing, and question why we're doing them? Are we working in a job in order to shore up an unrealistic sense of security? Are we just trying to get the approval of our family? Are we trying to prove something to the world? All of this sense of doing something for another reason. If we can notice that, we can start to drop it, and we can start to shed some of the burden that puts on our life. And what that creates, rather than an opportunity to do nothing but relax, what that creates is the space for a creative use of our energy, where all of our energies are aroused and inspired to engage with meaningful activity, especially in relation to others trying to do the same thing. So I don't think we want a soft life. I don't want a soft life, but we might want an engaged life. I'd really encourage you to like this video and subscribe to our channel. But more importantly, I'd encourage you to come to the London Buddhist Centre. If you're anywhere nearby, come along and visit us. Come to a class. And if you're not that near, but you could visit for a little bit, book on a retreat and get a real taste of what we're doing here for yourself.